For a race which offers more prize money than ever before for a non-marathon distance. Thousands of local runners will chase the world's best who have come for a shot at a $100,000 bonus for a world record. Tegla Larupe of Kenya, the world record holder in the marathon, headlines the women's field, while Khalid Khannouchi of Morocco, the world record holder for the men's marathon, heads an impressive men's lineup. $400,000 of prize money is on the line and has attracted the world's best runners to the world's best 10K presented by the Puerto Rican Tourism Company. The world-renowned Teodoro Moscoso Bridge is the start and finish point for this fast course. Marathoner Khalid Khannouchi dropping down in distance for this race, as is women's marathon record holder Tegla Larupe. Her top competition will probably come from her countrywoman Lorna Kiplagat. Local runners may be led by Luis Colon. The world record for this distance is held by Kenyan Joseph Kimani, and this huge crowd would love to see that broken. Khalid Khannouchi won the last big race in Puerto Rico, the legendary San Blas Half Marathon. Here at the shorter distance, he may have a little more trouble with the Kenyans. The women's world record is held by Scotland's Liz McColgan, over 10 years old. Over 3,000 runners taking the starter's gun, more than twice as many as had run in the race last year. For Puerto Rican runners, there's as much as $50,000 at stake in time bonuses, as well as $3,000 to the first Puerto Rican finishers in the men's and women's division. For the world's best runners, they're attracted by the bridge and the flatness of the course, the kind of a course that makes fast running possible. The incentive for a world record 10K has never been greater. Earlier, race director Rafael Acosta enumerated the historic prize structure.
One of the things that we want to do is for the 10K record, the world best record, to be established in Puerto Rican soil. So we offer $100,000 as a bonus to whoever, man or woman, breaks a new world record, in addition to the $20,000 or the first prize. In other words, if you break the new world record, you get $120,000.
Originally, it was thought that the women's world record was more likely to fall to Tegla Larupe, number 40, but she'll have a tough time if she has to battle the slight breezes alone. The men, with a deeper field, will be able to share the lead, but with so many great runners, the strategy of every mile becomes important, and tactics may get in the way of a fast time. 90% of the course is on the bridge, creating an interesting strategic challenge. The runners will have the wind at their backs for 1.5 miles, and then in their faces for 3 miles, and then for the final 1.5 miles toward the finish, the wind will be at their backs. Combine that information with the strengths and weaknesses of the top runners, and you have the tactics of a chess game, moving at just over the speed of a 4-minute mile. So you get an idea of the difficulty of winning this race. World-class conditioning and fitness are only the entrance fee for success. Positioning, drafting, teamwork, and some luck will be necessary to win. Right now, it's a group of Kenyans who are taking the lead and trying to position themselves at the front. Half a dozen runners from Kenya, 2 from Morocco, and 1 from Ethiopia. The 3 great countries in distance running today will go at it when we return to the world's best 10K.
The world's best 10K race from San Juan, Puerto Rico is brought to you by the Puerto Rican Tourism Company. Only Puerto Rico can put it all within your reach.
This is my Puerto Rico. Come discover it.
And experience the sounds of 500 years of history. Enjoy the sounds of our beautiful beaches. An incredible natural wonder. Come, feel the unique sounds of our people. Only Puerto Rico sounds like this. Only Puerto Rico puts it all within your reach.
Each new life is a book in the making. At Triple S, we always fill it with care. Every day, we fill out your pages with good help, and we take care of you throughout every chapter of your daily life to make it into an extraordinary story. So through the story of your life, with Triple S, you will live well.
Why on earth would an airline remove rows of seats from all their planes? Oh, that's why. American Airlines introduces more room throughout coach. Soon, we'll have more room for more coach passengers than any other airline, row after row after row. On American, coach has more class.
Feel the sounds of a colorful vacation.
Only Puerto Rico sounds like this. Only Puerto Rico puts it all within your reach.
Fuerte San Cristobal protects San Juan Bay and has weathered attacks over the years from British and Dutch ships. In the world's best 10K, it is the Kenyans who are threatening to remove a large amount of cash from San Juan as they lead the men's and women's race. Marty Licori back with you as Tegla Larupe, the world record holder in the marathon, tries to drop fellow Kenyan Lorna Kiplagat with a fast early pace. Both runners are great marathoners, but Larupe has greater leg speed and is trying to force Kiplagat out of her comfort zone. The men's race has too much depth to employ a strategy that is aimed at one particular athlete's weakness. But the Kenyans know the two Moroccans, Khalid Khannouchi and Brahim Lalafi, are strong at the end of the race, especially if the pace is slow. Lalafi, number 9, and Khannouchi, number 1, are content to remain in the shelter of the pack. Lorna Kiplagat has had great success in the marathon with 3 wins in the last 4 years, 2 wins at Los Angeles and 1 in Amsterdam. American Elva Dreyer comes from the other end of the racing spectrum. She was a miler. Her best hope is for a slow pace with a kick. The Kenyan men are the world's most productive nation in distance running. Their depth is amazing, but right now, Khannouchi is the man to beat in the marathon down to the 10K distance. He's well-trained and a smart racer. His racing sense is telling him not to challenge the Kenyans yet. He's content to draft off them. Elva Dreyer is fighting to keep the leaders in sight in the women's race. Simon Rono, closest to the camera in the red and black uniform wearing number 3, is at 28, the oldest of the Kenyans, and seems to be keeping an eye on the situation. He's well versed in the tactics of top-level races, having won such classics as the Beta Breakers in San Francisco, the Boulder, and Washington's Cherry Blossom 10 Mile. He knows you have to keep something in reserve even when your legs feel good. As they have the previous 2 years, the crowds along the course add to the runners' excitement. Tegla Larupe is an anomaly among Kenyan runners. She grew up in a tiny village at 10,000 feet of altitude and is from the Pokot tribe and the only Kenyan runner of note from that tribe. She started running in secrecy against her father's wishes. The leaders are approaching the toll booth, which marks the halfway point, and the leading group includes Joseph Wawuru, Titus Mungi of Kenya, Elliot Kurgut, and Douglas Rono. Larupe is a study in concentration and near-perfect form. She was a bronze medalist at last summer's World Outdoor Championships on the track at this 10K distance. The men still have a group of 10 as the race enters the second half. We'll have the closing strategic moves when we return to San Juan, Puerto Rico for the world's best 10K.
Hello, I'm Mark-John Jeffries, and I'm here to talk with you about People PC. What is People PC, you ask? It's simple. 1, a new brand name PC replaced every 3 years. 2, unlimited internet. 3, in-home service. Yep, if all else fails, they come to you. 4, great deals on stuff you like from places you know. All for $24.95 a month. That's it. Let's review. For about the cost of internet service alone over here, you get unlimited internet, a new computer, in-home service, and great deals over here. All for $24.95 a month. How? Strength in numbers, my friends. Folks, I'm Mark-John Jeffries for People PC. Thank you, and God bless.
Soccer fans, get ready for a whole new season of MLS action. Your favorite teams and your favorite stars are back for more incredible world-class soccer. When you order MLS ESPN Shootout, you'll get up to 100 regular season and playoff matches you can't see anywhere else. So bring the action home. Order MLS ESPN Shootout now. Call your cable company, DirecTV at 1-800-DirecTV or Dish Network at 1-800-333-DISH.
The finishing kick at the end of the race is in large part an emotional outburst rather than a physical one. Patrick Kiptum and Sammy Engano now having trouble staying with the lead pack, which includes Joseph Wawuru of Kenya, a 21-year-old who's only been running for 2 years, and Werku Bakila, number 4 of Ethiopia, one of the few men in the world who have run under 13 minutes for the 5K and is a 2-time Olympic finalist. Simon Rono in red and black is still glancing over his shoulder occasionally at the 2 Moroccans. Tegla Larupe has her eyes straight ahead as she increases her lead over Lorna Kiplagat. Kiplagat has an even bigger lead over third place Elva Dreyer of Gunnison, Colorado. Dreyer has run a mile in 4 minutes and 33 seconds and is a one-time U.S. champion at 3,000 meters. But at this 10K distance, her personal best is a minute slower than Lorna Kiplagat. Kiplagat has run 2 hours and 25 minutes for the marathon, and at 26 is getting faster at all the distances. She lives and trains in Holland, but keeps involved in Kenyan athletics by sponsoring a training camp just outside of Eldoret. She says she wants Kenyan women to realize they can prepare for a career as a runner just as they would train to be a farmer or a teacher. Titus Mungi now throwing in a surge in the men's race, and Joseph Wawuru goes with him. Then it's Bakila, and then Simon Rono. Khalid Khannouchi and Brahim Lalafi don't react immediately to the surge. They move up gradually, and even distribution of effort is what pays off at the end of the race. And sure enough, Mungi and Wawaru back off of the tempo. Tegla Larupe, all 85 pounds of her, is all alone on the bridge. The men's race seems to be looking for the next big move. The Kenyans are the world's best cross-country runners. They train on rugged terrain and usually run in spurts. Khannouchi, on the other hand, the world record holder in the marathon, runs very evenly, never varying his pace without a good reason. There's a constant battle going on as the Kenyans try to get Khannouchi to run their type of race. And Khannouchi has to use his confidence to allow the Kenyans to surge away and then gradually close the gap they create. Lorna Kiplagat, with her long stride, doesn't look like a typical marathoner. While Larupe, with her short stride and fast turnover, has classic marathon form. Once again in the men's race, Titus Mungi throws in a surge. And once again, Joseph Wawaru is right there. And then Simon Rono and Werku Bakila. But Khalid Khannouchi and Bahim Lalafi stay back, trying to run relaxed and keep an even pace. La Rupe has not only run the fastest marathon by a woman at 2 hours and 20 minutes, 43 seconds, but 3 of the top 10 times ever. Included are her wins at New York, Berlin, and Rotterdam. Khalid Khannouchi is her counterpart on the men's side. Besides his world record of 2 hours and 5 minutes, 42 seconds in the marathon, he has run 27:45 for 10K. Both runners are self-made in the sense that they were not nurtured by a college or a national athletic federation. They both achieved their success by themselves. Tegla La Rupe putting in many miles running to school as a youngster. She has a comfortable lead in the women's race, and on the men's side, it's getting faster with each mile. Khannouchi and Lalafi, the 2 Moroccans, still following the pace of the Kenyans and the great Ethiopian Werku Bakila. We'll take a break, but return shortly to San Juan and the Teodoro Moscoso Bridge for the world's best 10K. Stay with us for what should be a blazing finish.
This is my Puerto Rico. Come discover it.
And experience the sounds of 500 years of history. Enjoy the sounds of our beautiful beaches. An incredible natural wonder. Come, feel the unique sounds of our people. Only Puerto Rico sounds like this. Only Puerto Rico puts it all within your reach.
Each new life is a book in the making. At Triple S, we always fill it with care. Every day, we fill out your pages with good health, and we take care of you throughout every chapter of your daily life to make it into an extraordinary story. So through the story of your life, with Triple S, you will live well.
How would you really like to get to know Jeff Gordon, Dan Marino, Dennis Rodman, Brett Favre, Pete Sampras, Charles Barkley? Find out why Greg Maddux wears a Mickey Mouse watch, what Mike Piazza does in bars, what kind of wrestler Tim Duncan would be. All this and more in Outtakes, a new book by Dan Patrick. Full expanded interviews from Dan's Outtakes column in ESPN the magazine take you inside the minds of today's favorite athletes. Offbeat, revealing, and fuego. Outtakes in bookstores now or through ESPN.com.
You're looking at the picturesque waterfront in San Juan, adjacent to Old San Juan, which has been a U.S. National Historic Zone since 1950 and now has over 400 newly restored buildings. But today, the action is out on the Teodoro Moscoso Bridge, where the world's best 10K is racing towards its conclusion. The men's race is at a turning point as Titus Mungi and Joseph Wawaru, the 2 young Kenyans, are still the leaders. But now the finish line is close enough that the final build-up to the finish has started. Khalid Khannouchi and Brahim Lalafi, the 2 Moroccans in the dark uniforms, are at top speed trying to stay with the Kenyans. Werku Bakila of Ethiopia in 5th appears to be running easiest of all. Lalafi makes a move, the first time anyone has challenged the Kenyans for the lead. Wawaru reacts while Bakila watches in 5th. It's the 2 Kenyan farmers from the Rift Valley of Africa against Lalafi, a Moroccan who makes his home in France, and Khannouchi, who left Morocco for the U.S. 5 years ago with a talent and a dream. Khannouchi washed dishes in Manhattan restaurants and trained before and after work to become the world record holder in the marathon. Recently, he reached his ultimate goal of becoming a U.S. citizen and should be running for the U.S. shortly. But this is not a marathon where Khannouchi would be favored. It's 6.2 miles, and it is a race of speed. Worku Bakila of Ethiopian at the back there was an Olympic finalist at half this distance. He and Lalafi have run under 13 minutes for 5,000 meters. The Kenyans have pushed the pace, knowing they don't have the speed to run with these guys at the end of a race. The Kenyans hoped their strength would wear the Moroccans down. Now, as they all approach the finish, they find out if they've been successful in neutralizing the finishing kicks of these Olympic veterans. This is not an Olympic stadium with a track to circle. The tactics here are stripped to the essentials. Everyone has a clear straight line to the finish now. The fastest man will win. Behind the leaders, there's another battle for the top spot among the Puerto Rican runners. Orlando Ceballos Fuentes has a slight lead over number 10, Luis Cajazo Colon. And number 2, Jacinto Rodriguez Quijano. Lorna Kiplagat, currently in second, has not been able to close the gap that Tegla Larupe opened up over the first half of the race as they approach the final mile. There's a lot at stake here. First prize in the men's and women's race, $20,000. Second prize, still a great $15,000. $10,000 for third, $8,000 for fourth. A lot of money on the line. The pace really picking up in the men's race as the runners take advantage of having the wind at their back. The two Moroccans on either side of Wawaru now making a move. Lalafi and Khannouchi have been training together in Albuquerque prior to this race, and it remains to be seen whether this was a coordinated move, but for the first time, they have taken the lead from the Kenyans, and it's an aggressive break. Lalafi, fourth in the World Championships at 5,000 meters in Seville last year, a man with a lot of finishing speed, along with the world record holder in the marathon. Of course, it seems as if the marathoner would have to make the first move, and Khannouchi has. He's opened up a gap on Lalafi. He's not looking back at this point, but the shadows tell the story. Joseph Wawaru in third, running an amazing race for a 21-year-old. He's going to shatter his personal best for this 10-kilometer distance. Lalafi trying to hang in there, and now he claws his way back almost to Khannouchi's shoulder. Wawaru dropping farther back. The Ethiopian Bakila trying to stay in it, but it's Khannouchi and his countryman Lalafi as they approach the finish line. The large crowds in the race going out, able to glance over and see this classic battle with the runners moving at an extremely fast rate. Khannouchi glancing over his shoulder, wondering if there is one more challenge yet to come from Lalafi. And now they enter the wall of sound at the finish line. 50 meters to go. Lalafi still trying to catch Khannouchi. But Khalid Khannouchi will hold off Rahim Lalafi to win the world's best 10K and $20,000 for first prize. The huge crowds who have been here throughout the race and for hours before the race can't be disappointed with that outcome. We'll be back for a look at the women's finish.
Why on earth would an airline remove rows of seats from all their planes? Oh, that's why. American Airlines introduces more room throughout coach. Soon, we'll have more room for more coach passengers than any other airline, row after row after row. On American, coach has more class.
Each new life is a book in the making. At Triple S, we always fill it with care. Every day, we fill out your pages with good health, and we take care of you throughout every chapter of your daily life to make it into an extraordinary story. So through the story of your life, with Triple S, you will live well.
A great tradition continues on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. Join host Max Kellerman and Brian Kenny each week as they bring you the most exciting live fights of today. Friday Night Fights, every Friday night on ESPN2.
The passion, the power, the excitement. Monday nights this summer, the WNBA returns June 5th.
The world's best 10K race from San Juan, Puerto Rico has been brought to you by Triple S. With Triple S, you will live well.
The Teodoro Moscoso Bridge has provided the perfect setting for the world's best 10K. Tegla LaRupe, considered by many the world's best road runner, making her way to the finish line after leading every step of this 10-kilometer race. Up ahead, the first Puerto Rican finisher is Jacinto Quijano in 30 minutes, 35 seconds. LaRupe pushing the pace, even though her lead is adequate. She came here to run a fast time on this flat course, and she may fall short in that regard, but it's a big win, taking home over $20,000. And the huge crowd gives a warm welcome to Tegla LaRupe as she wins this third world's best 10K in San Juan. And with both the men's and women's winner in, there will be no new world records set here today. But what great racing this huge crowd saw as four men were together over the last 400 meters going for the win. In second place in the women's race, some 30 seconds behind Lorna Kiplagat of Kenya. Then in third place with a huge personal best, it's Gunnison, Colorado's Elva Dreyer. She'll also set a personal record, taking home $10,000 for third place. $3,000 goes to the first Puerto Rican finisher, and it's Carmen Orta in 36:49. After the race, we asked the winner about the dilemma of running against his training partner.
You know, I told him at first, you're going to be me, or, it's going to be me or you. One of us is going to win the race. So we know each other very well. He's very good. He got more speed than me, maybe because he's been running in the track. And he has under 13 minutes in 5 kilometers, fourth in the world championship. So it's very tough. And I'm satisfied that I beat him today. I was so happy with it.
Well, it was my first time to run this race. And I didn't want to let the people down because they were struggling since last year to get me here.
Yeah, no, me and Lorna were with Tegla close to 2 miles. And then at that point, we made the turn coming back. And there's a stiff wind. You could feel the wind, and that's where I dropped. I struggled a little bit. And, Tegla and Lorna, I never saw Tegla for a while. I could see Lorna for a while, and then before, by the end, I don't know where she was.
Well, it was a worthwhile trip for all the top finishers. Khalid Khannouchi coming away with $20,000. And the same for Tegla LaRupe. Elva Dreyer of the United States takes home $10,000. Jacinto Quijano and Carmen Orta both take home $3,000 as the top Puerto Rican finishers. Well, that's it from the world's best 10K in San Juan. I'm Marty LaCourie. See you next time.